yours.
It's Judy on the radio, building dreams and achieving more, telling it just like it is. Most of all, keeping it real. Are you ready for real talk? Changing lives and communities. Real talk. Saving all our families. Real talk. Bringing hope for you and me. Real talk. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio.
Well, good morning and welcome to the Real Talk with Judy live radio show. I want to thank you so very much for tuning in for another hour of empowerment, inspiration, motivation. I am always thankful for you giving me an hour of your time to empower you, to speak life into you. So many people said I've helped them make decisions, and today is going to be no different. And I thank you so very much again for tuning in. And y'all see my beautiful guest sitting there. I'm going to introduce her in just a few moments, but y'all already see her. Many of you already know her, but who live in Tallahassee. But I'm going to thank you all so very much for tuning in. Do me a favor. While I do my introduction, I want you to go ahead, email, share, get someone on, get others on here. Hello, Wayne. That's Wayne Tillman telling us hello. But we want to go ahead and get people on. I believe that you're going to be greatly inspired today. You're going to be really pushed to another level. I have a great woman here to help me navigate you to that. And you're going to hear her story. We're going to talk about some great things, and we're going to see you reach another plateau today. I believe that with all my heart. Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ which strengthen me. So my sisters and brothers, today you shall be strengthened. And I want you to do this. I told my class last week, you got to see it before you see it. And y'all often hear me say it. I heard my Bishop John Drew Sheard say that one time, maybe, 8-9 years ago. And it has resonated with me. You have to see it before you see it, or you never will see it. And that's Real Talk. Again, I am Dr. Judy, a Real Talk host. So go ahead, do me a favor, like, share, contact, email somebody. Those of you who listening at your desk, call somebody if you're in the home, wherever you are, get somebody on to hear this show. It's going to bless you, I promise you. So do that while I say hello to my mama. Hey, mama. Want to thank God so very much. I spoke to her right before I came in, and she's doing well today. Yesterday was a little shaky for her, but she's doing well today, and we're thankful for that. Always appreciate her. Thank God so very much for her. And my sister Tanya and all of those who will be joining in. Thank you so very much. Last week was her birthday. We celebrated 86 years of her life, and we had a good time. We had a good time with her, and she is still my trusted advisor, my mentor, and she is by far my number one hero. She really is. I remember growing up, people asked me who did I want to be like when I grew up. I always said my mama. I've always, some people get it later on in life, and it doesn't matter when you get it. Some people get it later on in life. I've had it since birth. Of course, I can't remember those first few years, but I've had it since birth. My Uncle Skip said I just used to stare at my mom, just stare at her. Everywhere she went, I just stared at her. And I am humbled and honored to say that I have patterned so much of my life after her. So I thank God for her still being alive. And to Sister Priscilla and this production and marketing team, thank you so very much for all that you do and give to this show. And I want to thank God, y'all already know, for my amazing husband, Superintendent Jeremy Andrea, 44 years of life in just a few months. It'll be October, but just a few months, we'll be 44 years in. And I thank God that he has blessed us to still have an exciting marriage and everything. I am honored beyond measures. Oh, let me say again to you, the audience, thank you for coming in. Thank you. Go ahead and share it. We greatly appreciate you. Okay, I have the honor. I have watched this young lady for years, and she's absolutely amazing. She's an amazing woman. She's risen to the top of an organization she worked at for 21 years. But she's amazing. She's in the community, and the smile you see with her right now, she always has that smile. She's a woman that I've come to trust. You know, you can't trust everybody. They hide behind your back. What they call them? Backstabbers. They call them backstabbers. And sometimes they don't want to. They don't want to join. They just want to backstab you. Sometimes they'll hook up with people who are close to you and cause those people because they ain't wise. The Bible said a whisperer will separate the chiefest of friends. So watch them whispers. Got the word. That's not our show today now, but she can go. If I let her loose, now she'll go. She'll preach too. Hello.
Ooh.
But she's a woman who she was just featured in the Tallahassee Democrat. She was just in the your husband say that's my real. Look at her. Look at her. That's his real. But,
I am.
Well, y'all not gonna do that on the show today. We're gonna bring him on, bring Pastor on. We're gonna go at the marriage stuff. How about that?
We can do that.
Yeah,
we
but that sounds
absolutely
good.
can.
I think I'm gonna do that. We're gonna do that, and we're gonna call it the marriage stuff show. So, but she's a woman who was helped to rise, but in return, she's helping so many other women and people rise, and that's one of the things I greatly admire about her. She's not selfish in anything she does, and I've just watched her. She happened to attend my son's church, my son and daughter church, Clarence and Dee. But I'm excited to have her. She's a woman, a sister girl, as I said, that I admire. Y'all see her sitting here looking beautiful as ever. But as stated by the Tallahassee Democrat, it said, meet the CEO who climbed the ranks. And she is now the CEO of Kids Incorporated for about the last 7 years, I think.
Yes,
the
ma'am.
last 7 years. Y'all, Mrs. LaFonda Heidel.
Thank you, Dr. Judy. Oh man, this is just an amazing opportunity. I want to thank you for allowing me to come on your show. It's not often that you get a woman of your status to reach out to little old LaFonda from the country.
Where are you from?
I'm from Gainesville, Florida. Well, let me caveat this by Manioka. If you ain't never heard of it, then you ain't really from Gainesville.
I ain't from Gainesville. What is it?
It's a little community called Manioka. That's where I'm from.
Manioka. Okay.
Yep. So it's right north of Gainesville. So out in the country part of Gainesville.
Okay.
So little country girl
But
that came to the big city of Tallahassee.
The big city of Tallahassee. Well, I guess coming from Manioka, Tallahassee would be big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm from Fort Lauderdale.
See.
So Manioka, Gainesville, and Tallahassee, all the country.
Yes.
Ma'am.
They little compared to Fort Lauderdale.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But it is an honor to have you on my
Thank
show.
you.
It is an honor. And you said little old me. Ain't no little old me, no kind of way. You are a very indelible, impressionist piece of Tallahassee.
Oh, thank you.
You have
that.
touched so many people's lives and helped so many families and so many children. And one of the things we're going to talk about, I was reading what they put in Tallahassee Democrat. I think I want to call you immediately, but we're going to talk about it, but you're just phenomenal.
Thank you.
And we need more. What we're talking about today is women rise. Women rise. Yeah, women rise and women rise. That's what we're talking about, because I believe it's time, and I believe that we have to help each other.
You do.
And reading your stuff, we're gonna let you loose. But all right, so we know you from
Manioka.
tell us a little bit more about you. Tell the audience some more about you. We know you got your handsome husband on, but tell us some more about you.
So grew up, born and raised in Gainesville, Florida, and then decided to come to Tallahassee in 1996. And so I've been in Tallahassee for over 20 years now, almost 30. And I didn't know then that I would be here now. But it's like I came here and never left. So I got my roots and stuff hooked right on into this community of Tallahassee. I came to go to school initially at Florida A&M University. And then I didn't finish my degree there. I had to start working and taking care of myself and all that good stuff. And when I did that, I found this organization called Kids Incorporated. So I started Kids Incorporated over 20 years ago. Somebody actually saw me working at another organization, and they saw that I did that job with a smile on my face. Hated the job.
Mm-hmm.
I hated it.
Oh, that's good.
I hated it.
Uh-huh.
But I did it with a smile on my face because I knew that the people there needed to see someone with a smile on their face. Even though I did not like my job, I loved the people who I interacted with.
Wow.
And there was this woman who came through my office and she was like, "Are you happy here?" She just asked me if I was happy. I said, "Not really." She said, "I can't tell." And when she said she couldn't tell, I was like, well, that's the kind of impact I want to make on people. I want to make them smile, even if I feel like I am just miserable.
Wow.
I wanted somebody else to be able to smile. And so she said, "I might have an opportunity for you." I said, "Okay." Well, I know my God. So I know if he says he has an opportunity for me, it's going to come. A month went by. I never heard anything. Then another month went by. Didn't hear anything. A third month went by. And then she called me. And she said, "It's time. I need you to apply for this job." So it was an administrative assistant position at Kids Incorporated of the Big Bend. And I was like, oh my gosh, I had to wait. But in that waiting, I was patient.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I did not like what I was doing before, I was patient.
Mm-hmm.
And so I interviewed for the job. It was like 5 people in this interview. I was like, oh my gosh, why all these people here? But it was like 5 people in the interview, but she was the one sitting in the interview as well. And so I knew I had the job. When I saw her face, I was like, oh, I got this job. All I had to do was open my mouth and answer the questions.
Wow.
And I will say from that day to now, I've been with Kids Incorporated because they hired me shortly after the interview. I got the call saying, "Hey, we want you to come work for us. When can you start?" I said, "Give me 2 weeks. I have to leave my current job right." Because you never know when you're going to need that job. So I said, "Give me 2 weeks. I have to leave my current job correctly." And once I left that job that I had and I started at Kids Incorporated, it was an amazing opportunity because within 6 months I got a promotion. Because little do you know, when people are watching you and they see your work ethic, then what happens is they say, "Oh, we want to see her in a different position." So I got a promotion to an administrative specialist.
Hold on right there, LaFonda. Y'all take note of this. Minister Howard, thank you. So we're at lunch, and to all of those of you who are on, thank you. Go ahead, keep sharing and comment if you like. Keep sharing. LaFonda, you've said several different things. Number one, you didn't like the place you were working, but you kept smiling, and you did it for the love of the people.
Absolutely.
And you all have to understand that when you're placed in a position, whether you like it or not, the people matters more than the position.
Absolutely.
So you're serving, and that's what I'm hearing from you. You stayed there. Would they smile? I told you I've seen that. That's all I see from you is that smile. And you serve, but you never know who's watching, and you never know what they have planned for you. Everybody is not evil towards you. Everybody is not evil towards you.
Right.
Some people are watching to give you an opportunity to create an opportunity for you to rise. And let me say this: God always use people, and be careful how you treat people.
Oh
Be
yeah.
careful how you treat people. You never know when you're gonna need to go back to them, and sometimes she's ready. You never know when you have to go back to those people that you mistreat because you think you don't need them anymore.
Mhm.
And so you have to be careful how you treat people, and be careful how you treat people who come into your space, even in passing through.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the things that I pride myself on is how I treat others.
Mm-hmm.
I treat other people as though I would want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
And that's with respect, dignity. Respect and dignity. That's how I want to be treated. So I treat everybody the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Because guess what? You deserve to be treated with respect and dignity. And so that's how I navigate my life, is when I encounter people, I want to make sure that they feel respected by me and they feel that they are being treated with dignity, regardless of what kind of walk of life they are in.
I love it.
And so I am a people person. So
Yes.
anybody who knows
Yes.
me knows that I love to, like, our show, we could probably spend about 2 hours here with me, because I am a talker. So I love to interact with folks. But I also love to learn and get to know people as well, get to know their personalities.
Yes.
Because too, as a leader, and we'll probably get more into this a little bit later, but as a leader, when I get to know you, I treat you according to your personality as well.
Yes.
As a leader. That's why I have to get to know people and interact with them, because I want to make sure that I'm treating them in a manner that's respectful and with dignity, but according to their personalities as well.
Yes.
And so I am one of those people. I love people.
Yes.
I do.
Yes.
I do.
Yes.
And Dr. Judy is right. When you see me most of the time, I'm going to have a smile on my face.
Yes.
I am going to be cheesing from ear to ear.
Yes.
I'm going to be like I'm one of them. I'm from the country. So y'all don't.
It's okay.
Don't be mad at me when I cackle, because I cackle, So if something funny, I might laugh out loud, and it might be one of these where I rear back.
How you cackle? do the cackle. I'm gonna call it the country cackle.
Oh,
I'm gonna remember that. The country cackle.
So I love to laugh. So that's just a part of my DNA, is I love to laugh. And when I interact with people, I love to make people laugh too.
Yes.
So that's just part of my DNA. And I'm down to earth too. I'm cool, chill. Like, one of my employees actually sent me a text, said I'm one of the coolest leaders that they have ever interacted with. Wow. That was one of my employees text me that. And I was like, dang, that's what you want. You want, not that she doesn't respect me, or not that they don't respect me.
Right.
It's that I'm cool. I can understand what they are going through. I can interact with them and not see myself as up here, because I don't see myself as up here. When I talk about my employees, I said we work together. Right. Because we work together for a common goal. We work together. Not I'm up here, you down here.
Exactly.
That's not the way to lead either.
At all. I think that's one of the worst ways to lead a team. If you're going to accomplish anything good, you cannot be up here. I often tell the founder that in a car or so, you got to have one driver. You have to have one driver. But that driver, their responsibility is to get everybody to where they're going safely. It's not that they're the only driver. It's just that at that particular time, because you may have somebody in the the passenger seat or the back. We got them back seat drivers. We got those back seat drivers. But they have to be able, because sometimes you're driving. Thank God for GPS and and all that stuff. I end up in, where you from?
Manioka.
Manioka. Hey, Tanya, I end up in Manioka somewhere, but a leader has to, and I love what you're saying. You get to know your team,
Mm-hmm.
and then you work with them according to their personality, but it's all still done in the spirit
Mm-hmm.
of respect and dignity.
Yes, ma'am.
And so we a good leader bring that team with them.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
bring them with them. And when you see that they need to come up,
Mm-hmm.
a good leader is able to look and say, you need to come up in this area, but you said in ways of suggestions and,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I will say this to Dr. Judy. When after getting that first promotion, though, going back there after getting that first promotion, we talked about this a little bit before the show started, but Pamela Davis, who was the immediate previous CEO of the organization, she actually was watching me. I didn't know. So here's the thing. I didn't know she was watching me. And here's the thing too about whatever position you're in, you don't know who is watching you. You don't, just because they don't say anything to you,
Right.
does not mean that they are not watching you and how you're moving, what your character is. Are you honest? Are you truthful? Are you one of those people that they can depend on and rely on? You don't know that they're watching you and watching what traits are you carrying.
Yeah.
Is it I'm watching you, I'm trying to wait for her to fall or him to fall? Or is it I'm watching her or him to see what are they capable of?
Yes.
Well, one of the things that Pam Davis did for me is she was watching me for what I was capable of.
Yes.
And when I had the opportunity to interview for the executive assistant position, she was like, she actually came to me, sidebar, she said, are you applying for the executive assistant position? And I looked at her and I said, yes, ma'am. And she said, good. I was like, oh, okay. So when I interviewed for the executive assistant position, when she hired me for or transitioned me into that position, she said, I have been watching you. I didn't know she was watching me. Me, I'm just the administrative specialist at the time. I'm just little old LaFonda from Manioka. And it was just like, wow, she has been watching me. And I see her as she's the CEO of the organization, so she's been watching me. And I was like, oh man, good thing I was doing right.
Right.
Good thing. But the thing about it is, it's not in my character to do anything wrong. Not intentionally.
Right.
Because we all unintentionally do make wrong decisions.
Right.
But it's never my intention to do anything wrong. But the fact that I was able to have her focus on me during that first year of my time at Kids Incorporated, I was like, dang, I must have been doing something right. I must have really have interacted with folks and made sure that I did my job in excellence. Meaning I did beyond what they asked me to do. I created things within the organization that we still use to this day in the organization. And that's because it was thrown at me. Everything that was thrown at me, I did it. And I did it without a complaint. And I did it with a smile on my face. And I did it in excellence.
And you know what else she looked at? I can assure you, your personality, the consistency of your personality, the consistency of your character, the consistency of your smile. Because we do our work in excellence, but sometimes our personality can get us not to go anywhere.
Absolutely.
It can kill us. But I can honestly say she looked, because that's important to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather bring a person on my team who need improvement. They would need improvement, but I know I can get them to be improved. But if they got a good personality, consistent, get along with everybody, not wishy-washy and other, now those people right there, I don't like working with. I really don't. my sister and I sometimes we're looking at applicants for our daycare, and
Wow.
and I said, nah, I don't want them because I can't stand. I don't like up and down, and you have to be a team player, and you have to be consistent. LaFonda, I can probably assure you that your personality, your character, your work ethics just drew her to you. The Linda Clark Cole, we was on a call the other night, and she said, "The Lord told me to put you here, Mandrea." I said, "Lord," but she also told me that she's been watching me. She tried me in different places in her executive cabinet. So now she's put me over another part in her executive cabinet. But she loved the fact that I'm always consistent. She says every time she meet me, no matter what convention we in, I'm consistent. And she asked me at the last minute to do this. I put it on up there to do it, and it's good. But she loved the fact that I make all of them laugh, but I can't help it.
You can't.
I really can't help it. I try to. Sometimes I try to be the most serious, but it just don't come out like that. But she loves that, and she says always consistent. And so LaFonda, every time I see you, every time the people I told LaShawn that I want you on the show. LaShawn about had it. Yes, get her. You get her on there. You would do well. I mean, just the excitement. And I mentioned somebody else to another person, and they was like, "No, I don't get them. They cocky. They think this and they do that." Well, that's the same feeling I have about them as well. But they do kind of good in the community. They say, "Don't bring them on there." So I listen. So they're not on here. But you, LaFonda, I mean, and just listening to this, you was a single mother. You are an organization services for quality child care aimed at children up to 3 years. And then Davis, this is what you said, push you.
She did.
And I think that's a great leader. She pushed you to complete your education, because this is according to the Democrat now. They messed this up, you correct. She said, you're too smart to not have your degree.
And that's correct.
She said, I love it because a great leader can see other people's potential and push it out of them.
Absolutely.
And not only do you have a bachelor's, you got your master's.
I do.
Got this and that. But talk about, LaFonda, how that felt that you had this woman, this is Women Rising, this woman who saw all of that in you and then push you towards that.
I will say, after she said that to me, that's when I told her, I said, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my degree because I may want to sit in your seat.
Woo!
And
I love it. And what did she say?
She said, when I retire, you might have the opportunity to sit in my seat. But I will say this. One of the things that she was very good at was grooming me. While I am not her, and I want to make that very, very clear, I am not her.
Yes.
I don't have her leadership style. But in her grooming, I was able to start creating what my leadership style was going to be. And when I got the opportunity, now I will say this, when I got the opportunity, when she made the announcement that she was retiring, and she made it public that she was retiring, and they started the search, it took me a while to apply for the job. And let me tell you why. Is because I wanted to make sure that this was what God wanted me to do.
Okay.
I had to ensure, so I got, I had to get my little prayer warriors on, like, y'all pray for me that God gives me the answer to apply for the CEO position. And you know who my girls are. So I had Evangelist Tanika Forbes. I had Minister Tina Johnson. And I had Minister LaTana Harris. Those are my three that I had. I said, hey, I need y'all to be praying, seeing what God would have me to do. Um, it wasn't that there weren't other qualified candidates that were going to apply for the job.
Mhm.
It was that, was I the right candidate to lead us into our next phase in the community? And once he gave me the answer,
Wow.
I submitted my application. And when I tell you, throughout the interview process, God was just waking me up in the middle of the night and he had me writing things down. Like, this is what I want you to say. This is what I want you to do. This is how I want you to put this plan together. You know how they say, write the vision, make the plan. So God had me up writing the vision for the organization and where we were going to go. And through that, I got the call, you got the job. After I presented, so it wasn't an easy interview process.
Okay.
It was by no means an easy interview process. I had to be just like the other applicants. I had to do the Zoom interview. I had to do the in-person interview. I had to do a presentation to the board. I had to do everything all the other candidates had to do.
Mhm.
They were harder on me, I felt, than they probably were on the other candidates, because I'm sure that they felt like they had to make sure that I was ready to lead the organization.
Mhm.
And once they made the decision that I was ready to lead the organization, guess what LaFonda did? LaFonda put her boots on and got to work, because at that point, I had to assess the organization where we were. Yes, I've been with the organization for over 15 years at that time. Yes, I think I could have led it like Pam was leading it,
Mhm.
but that wasn't my style.
Yes.
And so what I've done, through the help of the Lord, because if it had not been for him, I would not be here. I would not. So I will not take all the credit. I will always give him glory for everything that he's done and positioned me to do. But what I did was I assessed the organization. I saw where there were gaps. I saw, and God led me to those gaps. And I reorganized or restructured the organization for my leadership style. But in that,
wow, you're saying so much. I'm gonna have to go back and listen so I can write down some notes. Wow, this is good. This is good.
But I will say, Dr. Judy, in that there are other female leaders in this community where I tapped into. We had conversations. Here's where women are rising. There are other women leaders in our community, and we have to be able to tap into those resources. We cannot do these jobs on our own.
Mm-hmm.
We can't.
Right.
Being in this position can feel sometimes lonely, but it doesn't have to be, because you can tap into other women leaders.
How do we do that, LaFonda? Because just in the community, unfortunately, it seems like, and it is an unfortunate to me, that we have so many who, behind the back door, try to rip other women leaders down. And I'm talking about the women leaders. I'm not talking about the men, because I really am concerned about the women rising. And as you stated, we have so many good women in the leaders in this city. How do we, what would be some of your suggestions that we can help pull each other up? My desire to get women on this show who can really, who I feel within my heart is not one that tear down others and all the backdoor stuff. I don't have time for that. But I want women who will speak, show where you are, because it said you created your own path in this organization. But I've seen you reach up to get women up. You know, what do we need to do?
So one of the things that I like to do is, when I hear that there is a new woman leader in the community, I like to do one-on-ones, because that's where you kind of get to know these women in the community.
Exactly.
It's having one-on-one conversations. So I do lots of coffees, because I believe that that is an opportunity, because it's not intimidating. You're not sitting in an office. You're actually sitting like on a sofa, or you're sitting at a table somewhere drinking your coffee or tea if you don't drink coffee, or nibbling on a little snack. and you get an opportunity to let your hair down a bit and get to know these women. And I feel like that's an opportunity where, treat with respect, dignity, and then you get to know them. And in that first conversation, after if they haven't sent their representative, because sometimes I say in the dating world, when you first start dating somebody, they send their representative. So if they haven't sent their representative to talk to you, they're really being real. And in that time, you can kind of determine and discern whether or not this is somebody who you want to continue to get to know, and then impart any knowledge into that other woman. Um, so Janae Freeman, who was also a part of the article, so she was one that was highlighted as one of the four. Her and I have talked several times, and we have that mutual respect, that mutual trust. And that's because we've gotten to know each other. And that's what you have to do is you can't be shy about your interaction with other people. Now, trust is a different thing, though. Is after having so many conversations, once you determine whether you can trust them, then you can start really letting them into some of those nuances of what you've done to get where you are and some of your failures. Because sometimes, as you say, the backstabbers, they'll use those failures and turn them around against you.
Y'all hear this?
And so you have to build trust. And once you build the trust, then you can start letting others into some of those nuances, and that's successes and those failures. Because we as leaders, we don't always do things right. We don't always make the right decisions. But I will say it's how you build upon those failures or those weaknesses in which you turn those failures and weaknesses into something positive.
And so number one, let's get to know each other.
Absolutely.
That's number one. So we're women rising. We're going to help each other rise. How do we do that? Help each other. Get to know each other. Go to lunch. Go sit at Cascade and they get those ducks and geese walking around, and just sit there, and talk with each other. Give each other that respect and dignity and that honor. And talk. I promise y'all, I have so many one-on-ones. I enjoy it. I love meeting people, LaFonda. I love meeting. I love talking. And I'm always looking to see how can I pour. I'm 66. So I'm always looking, how can I pour into this next generation? How can I help these young people, these young ladies coming up? What can help be some of the pitfalls? Sometimes we fall for people too quickly. We fall for them too quickly. Call them sisters and aunties. They ain't just sisters. Now you better get to know people's spirit. You better get to know them like your spirit. But there's some good women in here, in this city, and sit down and talk to them. Build a trust. Build a trust, and make it happen. One of the things that's said in here, and I want to say this, y'all. Things are not going to happen overnight. And so LaFonda, it said you leapfrogged from one position to the next. And I want to read this because I want us to understand you have to go through the process.
You do.
And sometimes we look at other women and we say, oh, they there, but you don't understand. Like I had somebody to say, where did Dr. Judy come from? She just came out of nowhere. No, she didn't come out of nowhere. I was doing this before some of y'all was born. I came to Tallahassee in 1977. Some of y'all weren't even born in 1977. Okay, some of y'all just was born in 1980. Okay, but in 1977, 1978, I did a citywide youth program. Over 500 young people participated. Bishop Lamar Simmons, that was his time when he started. He directed the first choir in Tallahassee. Bishop A.J. Richardson paid for everything. Everything. I wasn't a member of his church, but he liked the thing that we were doing. We had it at his church and walking forward. Commissioner Bill Proctor came in and I was crisscross. I don't know how you remember crisscross.
I
You,
do.
oh no,
I do.
okay,
I do.
crisscross, and they were saying, "Who make you jump? Jump, something make you jump." But I put on there, Jesus make you jump, jump, and all of those kids and walking forward, jumping, even off the bleachers, and they were just jumping. And Bill Proctor came in, and that's when he saw my sister Carolyn, and he said, "I'm gonna call you greatness." And if you notice, I have just about everything I have is Dream Builders Greatness
Mm-hmm.
because he started that. But that was in 1978. And some people say, well, I have done more in this community than can be. Well, it's just that sometimes you just don't know what people have done.
Amen.
And so you think, and so and I want to share this with y'all. She was administrative assistant. She went from administrative assistant to administrative specialist, then to executive assistant, then to program. I tell you, I was a program design and management coordinator, the family and community engagement director, and now she's the CEO of that company, of that organization, Kid Inc., which serve.
We serve over 190 children at any one time through Leon, Madison, and Jefferson counties. So we have.
And she's the CEO.
Yeah.
LaFonda Heidel is the CEO. But she came up to the ring. Can we learn something? Yes.
Yeah, I'm still learning. And one of the things that I tell anybody, you cannot stop learning, regardless of whether you have gotten to the place where you want to be as far as professionally, you still don't stop learning because things change. I tell folks all the time, the only thing that's constant is change. Change is going to happen regardless of whether you want it to or not.
Wow.
The only thing that's constant is change. And so for me, I never stopped learning.
Yes.
I'm always a student.
Yes. I had to write that. The only thing that's constant is change. And we got to know that. I'm so impressed. So they watched you and they kept watching you.
Yes,
they watched you so much they awarded you $1.6 million of grant.
So let me put this caveat out here. So over since I have been in this job, we have been trying to determine whether or not we were going to buy our building, which is on Laurel Lee Avenue.
Okay.
South side of town. And one of the things that I've always said is the children on the south side deserves a nice space where they can have early learning. Not that there are not other child care centers on the south side, and some of them are nice. But I wanted to make sure those enrolled in our program had a nice permanent space for children to be served. And so initially we were gonna get a loan to purchase the building and have a mortgage. Well, one of the things that we had decided was, well, instead of doing the loan, they were like, there's some extra funding that's available. And so with the extra funding that's available, can you write a grant for it? So that's what we did. We wrote a grant for $1.6 million, and we were awarded $1.6 million to purchase our Bud Bell Early Learning Center building. And guess what? There's no mortgage, ain't no rent payments, none of that. I said, Lord, I thank you because we don't have to worry about the overhead for rent or a mortgage because we were paying a good amount of money to rent that building. I'm talking about we could have paid 2 or 3 mortgages with the amount of rent we were paying for that building. And it just so happened that there was money that was on the table for us to write a grant for, and we were able to use those dollars and purchase that building outright. Full cash offer, all of it. Full cash. Boom.
And it's under your leadership.
Under my leadership, yes, ma'am.
And because you saw God and got the leadership, you said, I've learned how to be a leader working here. And one of the things you said it taught you passion for growth of families. Talk about that.
So while being at Kids Incorporated, I have the opportunity to see families come through the program. And of course, while growing up myself, I might not have had the same issues our current families have. I was able to learn like the needs of those families. And the child comes with a family, whether that is mom, dad, whether that is mom, auntie, uncle, whomever that family is, a child comes with a family. And a child can't learn unless that family has their needs met. And so, yes, while being at Kids Incorporated, it has taught me to look at not only the child, but also to look at the family that comes along with the child. Because keep in mind, if there's hunger at home, guess what? That child is going to be focused on food. That child is not going to be focused on reading. And so if we meet the needs and help the family get their needs met, whether that is a better job, whether that is more education, whether that is keeping the lights on or the rent paid, whether that is transportation, meeting those needs of the family will help that child to be able to succeed in life. And so, yes, I have a passion for families and them being able to give back to their communities. Because guess what? If the family is not succeeding, guess what? You have another family that's not succeeding.
That's right.
Then you have another family that's not succeeding. And then you have those not succeeding families impacting your community. But if you have this family succeeding, that family succeeding, then guess what? They'll be able to tap on another family that's not succeeding and say, here's how I did it. Let me help you get to success in your family. And then guess what? It helps our community as a whole.
Yes.
When you have multiple families that are in a community that are successful or succeeding, then they are able to pour back into the communities and help those families that might not have that assistance, help them to get to where they are.
You know what I just saw? He was talking, this is the fun. And it just like popped up to me. But a man, and it was a man. I mean, I just saw it teaching the son how to fish. And they take the pole and they show him how to do it and to throw the rod, the rod, right? The line.
To cast it. You have
to cast it out there. And then so as you was talking, that's what I saw in our community, like with Kid Inc. and these programs was helping our families because each child does come with a family, regardless of how that family looks.
Regardless.
The child comes with a family. And we have to be able to have passion and compassion on that family and to teach them how to fish. Because what's going to happen, they're going to go back and teach. And that's what this is all about. Talk a little bit about kids. I know y'all keep hearing us say Kid Inc. Some of y'all probably, what in the world is Kids Incorporated with Kids Inc.? Tell them a little bit about that. And okay, go ahead. This is good.
So Kids Incorporated is a nonprofit organization that serves children 0 to 3 in Leon, Madison, and Jefferson counties. And we have what is called an Early Head Start program. And in that Early Head Start program, we can serve anywhere from 0 to 196 children at any one time.
Okay.
And currently, we are working to expand our programming to our 3 and pre program so that we can serve 3 and 4-year-olds. Because we're trying to get to that birth to 5 space.
I don't want y'all to bother them too much because y'all gonna take them away from a daycare. Because y'all.
No, you in a different location, so you don't have to worry. We're not trying to pull. We're not trying to pull.
They're gonna go over there and say, "We going to Kids Inc. Because y'all free, right?"
No, we are not free.
That's what I wanted her to say. That they're not free. So stay at Green Builders.
It's not free, but we do have a sliding fee scale.
Yeah, we got a sliding fee scale.
So,
but it ain't sliding like that. Now, go ahead.
No, a family can pay as little as $27 up to $350 a month for our programming right now.
Oh,
So
that's good.
yeah, so that's way cheaper than a lot of programs. But you have to qualify for our program too. And it's not a first come first serve type program. So it's a need based program. We have
Okay.
a waiting list and we have a selection criteria that we go by
Okay.
in order for us to select families for our program. And we do stay full. We do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yes.
When a spot comes
Yes.
available, we pull directly from our waiting list, and that top person on our waiting list gets that spot. So it's not based off first come first serve. So you can't fill out an application today and expect to get services tomorrow. No, that's not how our programming works. But if you qualify for the program, when we do have slots available, we'll pull those applicants off of our waiting list. So I wish it was first come first serve, but it's not that way because of the type of funding that we have. Because we are federally funded, we have to go by a selection criteria, and we take the most needy families. So
Okay.
those with the most at risk home lives.
Okay.
So the younger you are, the more at risk you are. The lower your income too, the more at risk you are. We do have folks in our program that are homeless. We have foster care. And then we also have those that are on public assistance.
Okay.
Those are considered our most neediest families. And then we do take in other situations into account. So if there's domestic violence, if there's an incarcerated parent, if one of the parents have passed away,
Okay.
that's considered an at-risk family as well. So because we want to make sure that we are capturing those families that really, really need our programming.
So this is awesome. Y'all gonna have to go one on one with her to get a lot of her story. But before we leave, give the women some more. I mean, because you have risen. I mean, you have gone from say it again, Macona,
Manioka.
Manioka. I don't know why Manioka. You have gone from Manioka to the CEO of a big corporation, touching families and helping them and all that kind of stuff. You are a role model to so many. You're a mentor
Wow.
to some. And not only was Miss Davis looking at you, you got women looking at you right now. And I'm sure that article even brought more women to look at you to say, wow, how did she do that? How can she do that? What speak to the women who are listening now, the ones who will come back. I just want you to talk to them for a couple of minutes and speak to you like Miss Davis told you. You're
Wow.
too smart not to have your education. But talk to them and let them know you're too not to.
Wow. I will say this to any woman that is looking to progress, even in life: be trustworthy, be honest, be your authentic self, because there is no way that you can hide who you are forever. So be your authentic self. I will say the most successful part of me has been being my authentic self. And in that, you'll find that someone will notice you, notice who you are, notice you to a point where they'll be willing to walk alongside you to help you progress to that next stage in life. So, for you out there, the little girl, the young woman, the middle aged woman, even the older woman, if you're looking to succeed, first be your authentic self, treat others as you would want to be treated, and put yourself in a position where you yourself can be seen. If you're always home, ain't nobody gonna see you. But you got to put yourself out there. You have to be willing to step out on faith, because one of the things that I did was I stepped out on faith. So you have to be willing to step out on faith, and you have to be willing to do the work.
Mm.
If you're not willing to do the work, nothing's going to be handed to you. It's not going to be handed to you at all. You have to be willing to do the work, put in the work, work that process in which you have to in order to succeed and excel.
Wow.
So I would just say and admonish you to put yourself out there, be your authentic self, be honest and trustworthy. Treat others as you would want to be treated, and that is with dignity and respect. But also work hard, be diligent, be persistent.
Wow.
Because if you're not, then guess what? It may not happen for you.
Wow.
You can't expect something to happen for you and you don't put anything into it. A lot of, in the church, they say, you don't know what I went through in order to get here.
Mm-hmm.
You really don't know the hard work that it has taken to get to this place. And you have to be able to wear whatever it is that comes with the promotion.
Oh.
You don't know
Wow.
the weight of what it is to be in the position, right?
Right.
But you have to go through the process in order to get there. And God will prepare you for the weight, to carry the weight and the burden that comes with it, with the promotion. And that's with anything. That's with a pastor, all of that. You don't know what a pastor has gone through in order to get there. Like you and your pastor role. Everybody don't know everything that you've gone through to get there.
True.
You have to be graced to carry that weight, to carry those garments as a pastor. You have to really be graced to do that. And that's with any promotion. You have to be graced to carry the weight that comes along with that. So I would say, if this is your desire to be promoted, to rise as a woman, to rise, you have to be willing to carry the weight. And you have to ask God for the grace to be able to carry it.
Well, Fonda, thank you so very much for being on the Real Talk with Judy show. That was powerful. Listen, do me a favor. Go ahead and share this on your page. The points she gave out today, the thing, this is successful. What a wonderful woman we have in Tallahassee, a wonderful leader. The Fonda Heidel Kids Incorporation CEO. I love saying that. I love saying that because we're seeing God promote and elevate so many black women. And I say to all black women, let's help others rise. But I would also say to those who want to rise, take those points she just gave. It don't come easy. Treat others as you want to be treated. And when you work in the church, keep working. Mm-hmm. Don't treat your church less than what you give to your secular. Because God promotes you from your spirit, because he too watching.
Yeah.
He's watching. And he's putting your name on somebody's mind. Mm-hmm. My mama said your name will go further than you would, or travel further than you would ever go. And your name will get there before you. Mm-hmm. So make sure your name is good. Make sure you got good work ethic. Make sure you got a good personality. Make sure you're good, and make sure you. Because the real you can't be hidden but so long.
Amen.
It only be hidden for Moses was hidden for only so long. Because when it's time to come forth, you need to be ready. All right. LaFonda, again, thank you. Women, rise. It's our time to rise. Y'all can meet me tonight at 7:30. Y'all can meet me every Tuesday night at 7:30 for our Bible study tonight. That's one of my favorites. People in the whole wide world, Evangelist Danette McBride. She's a leader extraordinaire. She is a leader, but she's a Bible teacher. She's teaching the lesson tonight, Bible study. My son, Antonio Witherspoon, that's our assistant pastor. He is doing prayer points. He's been doing prayer points for the last, I don't know, maybe 160 some days. Wow. I mean, Tuesdays, something like that. I mean, awesome. So we invite you to join us, and then join me every Sunday at 11 a.m. at Life Changers for a worship service experience that is absolutely phenomenal. And so we look forward to seeing you in those places. Want to say too, we want to keep Bishop Quincy Griffin in our prayer. His his sister passed, and we're still keeping Courtney Black, Bishop Simmons, and just it's so many people, Kevin Burney, so many people who have lost loved ones just recently. They told me the death angel arrived more at the end of the year, but he must not know this is the new year.
This is the new year.
You know, but we want to keep these families in our prayers, y'all. And also Women Build. Women, we are building with Big Ben Habitat. I have a team, it's called Life Changers Queen Builders. And so you all can get your team. Well,
Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio.